Today we're talking about high agency. You might have heard this idea of being a high agency person online, and today we're going to explore everything about it. Or more exactly, we're going to look at what is it, what makes someone fit this description, and afterwards I'm going to share with you my own blueprint to become a high agency person and some examples from my journey as a high achiever. And right at the end, I also want to share with you some ideas to start your own journey from. Now, before we get any further, I have a disclaimer here. Being high agency is not for everyone. You don't need to become a high agency person if it doesn't fit your personality or what you're trying to achieve. Some people are more chill, they prefer to be more comfortable, and they don't have any aspirations to achieve big things in life, which is totally fine. And in that case, high agency doesn't work for them. Now, if at this point you're wondering if high agency is fit for you and if you should watch this video, let me tell you what I had in mind when I prepared this video. I believe this video is right for you if you're someone that's constantly challenging the status quo, you want more from life, or you're looking to get ahead in life, you're self-motivated or ambitious, and you're not quite sure how to go about it. If your next question is why you should listen specifically to me talk about the subject of being a high achiever or a high agency person, let me share you my journey so far so you can get a better idea. I'm 26 from Eastern Europe and I've started with $0 in the banks without any connections, inheritance, or anything at all. I'm a former martial arts champion and I've dedicated around 10 years of my life to doing professional sports. I'm an advisor to multiple startups and I've also worked with multiple Fortune 500 companies to automate their core business processes. I've used the money that I've earned from my work in order to invest in over 30 private companies as an angel investor, with some of them having even multi-million-dollar valuations at this point. I've launched 4 products of my own, with 2 more that are currently in progress waiting to be launched, and that's besides all of the projects that I've worked on with my clients. I'm a coach for multiple content creators on monetization strategies and helping them to launch their own products. I've been invited to be a speaker at multiple investing related events, and I'm also working currently on my own content creator journey and becoming a millionaire. Now that we have established that and hopefully I got you excited for this video, let's get right into it with what is high agency. High agency is a mindset, or if you want, a way of life. Some people also call it high achieving or high achievers, and I also do that sometimes, but for the sake of this video, we're going to stick with high agency. Now, this image shows extremely well what does it mean to be high agency. So you're not just sitting around waiting for someone to help you or to give you a handout. You're actually willing to do the work yourself and assume some risks. Now, it's also important to note here that your achievements don't make you a high agency person, your mindset does. So even if you don't currently have any achievements, you can still be a high agency person if you're working towards trying to achieve a bigger goal. If you want something to correlate with this concept, think of serial entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, or even performance athletes. If you want to get to the top in anything that you're working on, you will have to at least have a little bit of the high agency mentality. Now, how to determine if you're high agency already? You should ask yourself, are you the hero, main character of your own story? Now, a lot of people will try to say here that you're crazy or that you're acting too self-important if you look at yourself like a hero. But in reality, if you're not in control of your own life and working towards your goals, then you're only a side character in someone else's story. And also, a little bit of delusion is required to succeed. Are you a creator builder, not just a consumer? 95% of people in the world are consumers, but if you really want to become a high agency person, you need to be able to create value, not just consume it. And also, are you moving forward? Are you constantly chasing after new challenges that will get you to the next level? Because that's the type of mindset that you need in order to get to the top. Now, let's go further to what defines a high agency person. They are self-aware, they know that they need to improve, and they embrace change. They are also independent and have self-efficacy. So you can think of that like a problem solver mentality where you can figure things out no matter what happens. They are creative and authentic, having their own original ideas, and whenever they see an obstacle, they look at it as a puzzle. They are also strategic. A big part of success is being able to transform a vision into actions. And also, like I previously mentioned, they prioritize offering value. They also have next level communication. They are motivational and inspirational. They can share their vision clearly so other people understand it. And also, they connect with people at a deeper level, being able to understand what drives them and also what value they can provide to each other. And finally, they prioritize execution. They show up daily no matter what the weather is like. They are proactive in what they are doing, being able to determine what will happen before it happens. They follow through on what they promise they will do, and also they assume responsibility if anything goes wrong. And finally, they turn down the noise. I'm going to explain more what turning down the noise means in the blueprint below, which we're actually just getting into, how to become high agency. Step number 1, prioritize yourself. Do minimal work for other people. They will always want something from you, so you should stop people pleasing and just say no more often to them. You also need to turn down the noise, like I've just said, and avoid distractions. Stop watching the news, set healthy boundaries with people, and avoid chasing hype trends. Step number 2 is to get clarity. You need to understand where you are in life so you can determine what you need to change. You also need to know what you want to do so you can determine what can get you there. Your values and priorities will help guide you towards what you need to avoid to not derail you from what you're trying to achieve. And also, you need to understand what's your unique advantage so you can determine what will be your runway. Exactly like a runway for planes, a unique advantage will be what will help you get off the ground faster. And also related to clarity, a lack of focus is the number one issue why people fail to achieve their goals. So you should know what are the 2 things that you need to focus on, be clear about them, and avoid spreading your focus too thin. For the 3rd step, you need to seek knowledge. Why should you do that? Because having the right tools for the job will make it 10 times easier. And in this case for you, it's knowledge that's the tool. You also should have a generalist approach to learning things. You don't need to specialize like school has told you. You need to have different perspectives from different areas in order to see hidden patterns. Your knowledge will also act as a fuel for your creativity. You cannot come up with original ideas if you don't know what other ideas are out there in the world. And if you can get access to insider knowledge, it can become your own personal leverage. I'm not talking here about the insider knowledge that's used to make illegal trades. No, I'm talking more like knowledge that not everyone has access to. Like for example, data related to market trends in a specific niche. For the 4th step, you need to find the right people to work with towards trying to achieve your goals. And that's why you need to avoid spaces with people that drag you down. If you cannot find people to support you somewhere, you're probably in the wrong location. Also, if your workplace doesn't push for your growth, it's better for you to find a new job. Build a support network that pushes you forward, friends, family, or even mentors if you can find them. Hire the right people that can enable your growth. You cannot do everything by yourself, and that's why you need to hire specialists to help you with certain things. And also, you should consume the right content, which you're probably already doing if you're watching this video. For number 5, you need to set big goals. You need to focus on the result of those, not how to get there. Because how to get there, you will figure it out along the way. And you should always create your goals for 5 to 10 years or even more. Smaller goals will only help keep you motivated for a shorter period. But what you really need is something that will challenge you for years to come. Also, double what you believe is your limit. Your limit is only in your mind, and in reality, most probably if you double it, you will be able to challenge yourself to get even further than what you believe you can achieve. You should set your goals in a way to be able to break them down into actionable steps, and also you need to define progress for them and how to measure it. When you start working on something, you will have a lot of motivation and you will be able to work hard for it. But as you go along, your motivation will fade away, and that's the moment when you will need to be able to see your progress to keep you going. For number 6, start small. Even if you set big goals for yourself, you still need to start from somewhere. And that's why in the beginning you need to do more things that will help you grow over time. And also you need to start. Avoid stalling too much. It's better to start and fail than to never start. Failing fast is the best way to determine what doesn't work for you and also what works for you, because in the next step you need to be able to double down on what works. No one, no matter what they tell you, has the secret sauce to success. What you need to do is to find what works for you and to be able to capitalize on it by doubling down. And for the last step, have patience and compound your growth 1% better every day. And that's the real way how you can become a high agency person. Before we go any further, there's a side note here that's extremely important. You don't need to be in this mindset 24/7 all year round. In the beginning, you will have very little of the capacity to get into this mindset all the time. That's why you need to grow it over time. And you need to tap into this potential as much as possible, but without pushing you past the point of burnout. If you work hard on anything in your life, you will eventually have to deal with a little bit of burnout. The problem is if you're going too deep into burnout or too often. That will only derail your progress and you don't want that. Let's get into on how I've used this blueprint in my own life in order to become a high agency person. When it comes to prioritizing yourself, I've decided quite early in life that I want to build my own business and life and not work for other people. On the get clarity part, I knew that in order to get to that point, I wanted to achieve financial freedom. And that's one of those goals that I'm working towards. When it comes to seeking knowledge, what I've done is that I've started working a job to get off the ground and also to learn. I've decided to take a job in a startup in order to see what it means to build a business. When it comes to finding the right people, I've previously changed jobs to enable me to grow. I've also worked with multiple mentors to get closer to my goals. I've had to hire people specialized in certain things like lawyers and accountants where I was lacking the knowledge at the time. And also, I've networked with multiple investors and entrepreneurs that were way ahead of me in order to understand how they got to that point. I also have big goals set for myself. I want to start a venture fund, build $1 million personal brand, and also build a business empire. Quite ambitious goals for 10 years to come, and that's why starting small is extremely important. In my case, I switched to freelancing to increase my income and learn about building businesses. I've started building multiple side projects. I've invested in startups through crowd investing, small tickets to enable me to get going, and also I've created short form content in the beginning. After quite a while, I managed to find what worked for me and to double down on them, and that's why I'm investing bigger tickets in more advanced rounds at the moment. So I'm doubling down on my investing journey. Also, I'm building more side projects in order for them to become additional sources of income, and I'm creating more content, especially long form like this video that you're watching right now. And for the last step, having patience and compounding my growth, that's still in progress, but it's going great so far. And finally, because you've watched until the end, let me share with you a couple of ideas of how you can get started on your own high agency journey. Work at a startup, earn equity, then move on to other similar opportunities and build a sweat equity portfolio. In this case, it's similar to investing, but you're not risking your money, you're only risking wasting your time. Find what's inefficient about your work and build a product that solves that problem. If you can find the problem in your work that you know the best and find a solution for it, your chances are that someone will pay a lot of money for that solution. And finally, position yourself as the go-to person for a very specific problem that no one wants to do, and you can charge a lot of money for it. Now, those are just some starting ideas to get some inspiration from, but what you need to do is to find what will work for you. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope it's more clear for you what does it mean to be a high agency person and also how you can become one. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and also let me know in the comments how you plan to use this blueprint for yourself.